Yes. So this is this is funny because I met Richard through a friend that I've been knowing for a good amount of years, and how me and Richard met was through a couple that I know for a good 10 years. They actually got me started jogging. I don't even know how I started that. I ain't gonna lie, the first week I thought I was gonna die. I went around the corner, tried to jog around the corner, and my legs gave out. But I'm gonna keep going. So Richard is dear to me because my father, late father name is Richard. My twin name is Richard. My cousin name is Richard. Richard is gonna come up and talk about all the humanitarian work that he does in Kenya and outside. Imagine, he's a doctor, professional, pediatrician, and he serviced children out of his own pocket with donations to in Kenya, orphans. That's big. Give him a round of applause. Why y'all looking like that? He could be doing something else, but he chose to save children. And this is big. And you know why it's big? Because instead of him going on a vacation, he chooses to go to Kenya and help these children that are orphans. And the next trip, because I used to work with Doctors with Borders, I'm going to go with him. And you know why? Because I'm a nurse for 32 years. And I know the importance of children feeling loved. But the funny thing about it is, I don't know how Richard wound up with 2 awards. They sent 2 awards to my house. And I looked, I said, well, he could put 1 at home and 1 in his office. So he does have 2 awards here, and I did not order it. It came by mistake. I don't know whether that was the disciples of Jesus that came down and ordered them. But Richard, tell them a little bit about what you do.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say that life is very strange. I had no idea something like this could happen. However, since early childhood, I knew that there was more out there than just generating income, going to work. I knew I had to do more for people, and I knew I had to do more for children. Now, fortunately, I got myself through med school with the help of my amazing parents, and I have a good job, but I was fortunate enough to meet 2 people who are strange, and I was invited to go to Kenya, and I said yes. And little did the person who recruited me know that I was a pediatrician. So I've gone since 2011. I am on my own. I see children. I do what I can. And it's extremely fulfilling, and it's something I think I knew prior to kindergarten that this is what I have to do. There's so much more to life than work. There's passion. And definitely we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. I just want to thank God. My parents were amazing. They were strict, but they knew that someday I would be up here, okay? My late wife and my incredible children, not to mention all the beautiful friends I have and all the beautiful people I see out here. So I'll keep it real short. I am overwhelmed, but I have to say, laying in bed before kindergarten, I knew this is what I was going to be doing with my life. I plan to keep going back to Kenya for as long as I live. I hope to retire there. Sorry, Carrie. But I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to be able to follow and fulfill my dream. And what can I say? What can I say about this lady? Other than a diamond in the rough, I guess. To be here and have this opportunity is fascinating, amazing, hard to believe. But thank you, everybody.
So, like I said, Richard is going to receive all 3. And the reason why is because anytime you enter another country, you put yourself in danger. And I don't want people to take it lightly because I travel a lot, but for someone to take the time to go to a village and don't know anyone there and service children that are orphans that have no one, he deserves all three. So family member, is any family member that could come up and pin him?
That one?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes. And your other daughter?
She's not here. No, he's here, my son.
Okay, your son, you come in him. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off. Yeah, that's all right. He could be shy, good unshy. I'm gonna take it off and let him put it on.
Okay.
Yes. So, the trick to getting this medal around your neck, you have to wear it for 2 weeks. That means you have to go to the store, do the laundry, put the garbage out, you got to shower with it. So, and I'm going to check to see if you're really wearing it. Yeah, I'm going to check. So, there's a coin, actually, a gold coin that you can receive, but they only give you a choice of either or either. So I said no. For Richard, he's going to get all three. So this is a gold coin, and it says the same thing, the President Lifetime Achievement Award. So you can put this on your dresser or wherever you want to put it. So let's take a quick picture. So John, we met about 9 years ago. He's in the fashion industry, one of the best photographers, Egypt's uncle. And I also have an award for his late mom. And when his mom transitioned, I literally, I didn't even say it. We were on Facebook every day, literally. Getting him through all the emotions. Because a lot of times, we kind of take our relatives lightly. You could say, "Hi, Mom, see you later." And the later never come. So, unfortunately, John's mom died suddenly. And it was very painful to me because I have a mom here and I could not kind of figure it out. And people were on the social media and we were getting him through the emotions. When people transition, I just want to say this. There is not a time limit for grieving. People have to stop thinking that a person died 10 years ago, you don't need to grieve for them. You can have a good day and you can wake up at 1,000 because something can reflect in your brain back to that person. So when you see a person struggling, instead of making fun of them, ask them, what can I do to help you get through this? So he, fortunately, he had his grandchildren and your wife and your dog. Let me tell you something. People laugh at dogs, but they absolutely help you when you're dealing with grieving. So I'm going to find your mom's thing because all the stuff is just so many. I don't want to downplay this lady because she is no longer here in the land of living, but she is in our souls. He's going to tell a little bit about his mom because he shared some articles about her. And as an educator myself, I'm very passionate when it comes to children. So John, I'm going to give you the mic.
Thank you, Doc. As she said, my mother, I was born and raised in Chester, PA. My mother grew up fighting the school system, not only for myself, but she also went back to school at a late age and got her degrees. And she came back to the school system and fought the school system to teach the kids because the kids there had issues where a lot of them couldn't read. They didn't know how to fill out a job application. They didn't know how to do resumes or anything. My mother started a program at a building in Chester called Chester Youth Build. She fought the school system for years. And like I shared with Dr. Reba, an article that was published in the Daily Times in the area where she actually wanted, my mom was the one that, she said what she had to say. Didn't care how you felt or whatever. She's gonna say it, she's gonna tell you. And she went at the school district for not allowing her to teach these kids on how to fill out applications and do resumes and reading and everything. Like she said, my mother passed suddenly, January of last year. January 25th, she was found in her apartment. It was unexpected to me because I had just talked to her on my birthday, January the 2nd. January 2nd, January 3rd, and I'm the youngest, I'm the baby boy, and I was her baby. So it was one of those things where we talked every day. And she caught an attitude with me. We would skip a day or two, and then she'd be like, I ain't heard from you, why haven't you called me? And I'm like, Mom, you just hung up on me. You know, like you hung up on me, like why, you know, like you, well, I'm your mother. Okay, so, you know, it was a process, a healing process that I went through, and at that time, Facebook was my outlet. And that's where Dr. Reba came in, and, you know, she would talk, she would hit me up and talk to me and everything like that. And there's no limit on grieving. My mother, I took a lot of things for granted, and the things that I took for granted was I had forever with her, and you don't have forever with a person. You only have their lifetime, and I took that for granted. I went to the apartment and seen my mother sitting there, and I went through a whole process of guilt and everything. I didn't understand the feelings that I was having. And that's when Dr. Reba stepped in and started talking to me, and it was okay to feel this way, to go through these emotions. But as she said, my dog played a major part. I have an English bulldog that played a major part in my healing. That it was that unconditional love.
He didn't leave. He literally stayed at your foot. Man, that,
to this day, he's over 60 pounds. I think he can sit in my lap. You know, and I'm like, no, you're too big for this. You know, but that, you know, that, all I have to say is, listen, everyone sitting here, you can't take life for granted. Live your life like it's your last day. And you only have that person's lifetime to be with them. God can call them home at any time when he feels as though their job is done. And my mom's job was done here. She raised me, she raised my sister as a single parent, and she educated us. She taught us, and her job was done. So she was called home. So you only have each other's lifetime. You know, I was glad she was able to enjoy her grandkids, to meet her great-grands, to enjoy all of that before she was called home. It's very emotional.
Yes.
But me as a photographer, she was so proud of me for starting my own business. JBMS1 Photography was started, and I'm gonna say this because she spoke on it. JBMS1 Photography was started for the plus size woman, because it was so many of the regular size models out there doing things, and I said, you know what, there's plus size women out there that can kill this. So that's where the concept of JBMS1 Photography came in, was, and I honed the hashtag the plus size photographer, because that's all I shoot is plus size women. And I do things that are tasteful, that are classy, and that they can print, hang on their wall, show their kids. I don't do any of that
fun stuff.
All that stuff that don't need to be, nah, I don't do that. But everything I do has to be tasteful. And not only that, I became the media director for Atlantic City Fashion Week. And I've been there since season 2, and we just completed season 23. So that shows how much I'm involved in the industry, doing fashion shows and photo shoots. And my whole thing of giving was to help people build their portfolios. Like, I took many a days and shot stuff for free, but you would never know that I did it for free, because the free work was just like the paid work. You know, I'm sorry, dear. All right, I'm gonna give the mic back to Dr. Reba. I love her.
Listen, I was letting him go past the 2 minutes because he's still grieving. 1 year is still not a long time. And when you find, and it's no different than you know that your parent is going to transition if they're sick, but to find them suddenly, and he's the one that came in the apartment and found her. So imagine how hurtful that is. So he's getting this award for being a stand-up guy, for representing plus size women. I'm not a size 0 either, but I love my curves, and if you don't like it, it's too bad. So I'm gonna pin him, and yes.
Hold on, let me bring my son.
Yes, come on, you're gonna pin
Take
him.
the headphones, come here. Now, and not only that, Dr. Reba, my son is on the autism spectrum as well.
Okay, so let him keep his headset, because I have a lot of children. Oh, okay. See?
Y'all dog in the word too?
Yes.
I got you.
Can you pin him? Pin him.
Let him do it.
Yep.
No.
Pin it on. That's okay, because I was going to drop it anyway. So you see how passionate I am about children on the spectrum. It's a worldwide epidemic, and we have to accept all children. Oh, thank you. So we can get our picture. He can hold this.